Okay, why is this telling me that the video is private? I'm live, but I can't tell if I'm live because it's telling me that my video is private. So, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. If you're tuned on, just bear with me a minute because I want to. I need to go ahead and change some settings here because this thing is telling me that I can't view this video for some reason. Okay, so now if I go back over here, why can't I see the video? I can't see the video. I can't see the chat. If you guys could hear me, do me a favor and do me a favor and comment. You can see me? All right, you can see me, but I can't see myself. So I'm gonna have to do one thing here. Can you hear me, Shells? Thanks for commenting. Well, apparently you could hear me because you said you replied to me. So that means you definitely can hear me. So let me just go over here and click on. Okay. This way, at least I can see the chats. Well, what? Okay, perfect, 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 perfect. All right, so now everything is working. Now everything is working. You can see me. You can hear me good. All right. Thank you for joining the chat, everyone. Thank you for joining the chat. Let me just do a quick share. And copy this. Do a quick share over here. Give me 1 second there. Give me 1 second, guys, because I know I'm running a little bit late, but I just want to share the live so people know that we're here and we can get people in this conversation. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're going to be talking about our social credit score. I mean, is it a real thing? Is it something that we really need to be concerned about? I really, it's a really interesting topic. Asian countries, well, I shouldn't even say Asian countries. Let me just say China already has it in place, and it's a working system in place in China. And the way it works in China is you get post. Stop jumping. Let me just post that. All right, guys, do me a favor. Share the live stream. Let's get some more people up in here, and let's get this topic of conversation going. Okay. If you see me looking down, it's because for some reason, YouTube is telling me that the thing is private, so I can't monitor what it is I'm doing. So I have to pay attention to the phone for the comments. So once you jump in, just keep in mind that if you see me looking to the side, that's because you see I got the phone. I gotta actually look on the phone to see, to watch the video and catch the comments. All right, so just bear with me. But what I want to talk about tonight is I want to talk about the social credit score going on in China, and is it something that we need to be concerned about here in the U.S. And I personally feel like it is something. Let me just take these glasses off. I don't like that. I'm looking at that light. I can see that light. Excuse me. But the social credit score, is it something that we need to worry about? We need to be concerned about over here in the United States of America? And I want to say absolutely. And most people are saying, if you look right now, a lot of people are saying that there's a plot for communist China to implement a lot of the systems that they have in China over here in the U.S. As part of like New World Order or whatever. I have a little bit of a problem with that theory, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Because I personally feel like we already have a social credit score system here in America already, right now, as we speak, and there's a couple of things that make me feel like that. First of all, we understand that our government does a lot of things that we don't know about. I mean, we understand that you don't control a people or monitor a people or you don't keep people in check by letting them know exactly what you got going on, because if they knew exactly what you had going on, then there's no way you can possibly keep a society in check. So, saying that to say, for instance, like with people, there's been a lot of arrests, right? There's been a lot of arrests lately for, if you're out in if you got you were out caught in not caught, but actually, if you were vandalizing property, if you were rioting basically, and not just peacefully protesting, there's been a lot of arrests, and there's a lot of official reports that say the arrests come from basically Big Brother, right? Because we know we've had Big Brother for a while now in the U.S. Everywhere you look, there's cameras everywhere. There's cameras on street lights. There's cameras in front of stores. There's cameras pretty much everywhere you turn. You can't really do anything in America and not, think you're not being filmed. So we understand that there's cameras everywhere, and a lot of official reports are saying what the FBI has been doing is been searching through these hundreds of hours of film from thousands of millions of different cameras. If you really believe that, I got a couple of bridges for sale. Not just one, I got a couple of bridges for sale. They're scattered all across America. You just tell me which one you want, and I can make it happen. I mean, honestly, if anybody believes that the FBI has enough manpower to actually sit through thousands of hours of film from millions of different cameras in order to catch these perpetrators, we're not thinking. I mean, if we really think that, we're not thinking. It's quite obvious. It's quite obvious. First of all, about a month ago, everyone in the U.S. With a smartphone got a app downloaded to their cell phone, COVID-19 tracking app. And none of us asked for this app. None of us went to the app store and downloaded this app. There was a day or 2 days where there were problems with some carriers. I believe not Verizon. I believe Sprint was one of the ones that had a major problem getting this app downloaded in people's phones. So people were having problems with their phones, and that's really how the masses found out that we were getting this app downloaded. Let's say, for instance, because I had a Verizon phone and I had no issues with my phone, nothing at all, and I kept on seeing posts like, what's going on with my phone? My phones are down. The phones are down. Everything is down on the phones. All communications are going down, and all day I'm looking at these phones, these posts like, well, my phone is fine. Like, I haven't experienced any kind of problem with that. So like, keep on, and then coming to realize now it was one of the major carriers. Like I said, I believe, don't quote me on it, but I believe it was Sprint that had the problem, that had the major problem. And comes to find out that people realized that Sprint was having a problem because they were downloading this app, and they were having issues getting that app downloaded. So that was the cause of the problem. Well, because that got highlighted, everyone else from all the other carriers realized that we had this app on our phone. So saying that to say, if Sprint didn't have the problem and it just went smoothly, like Verizon's went, it went very smoothly because I had no idea anything was transpiring on my phone. Like I said, I use my phone all day, every day, like all day. I'm constantly on my phone. I run businesses. I run a few different, different businesses, and I'm building a few different things at the same time. So I'm constantly on my phone. And like I said, those days I didn't. I mean, I have Verizon. I don't really experience problems, call drops or anything like that. Um, but I realize with the rest of America after the fact that now I have this phone, this app on my phone, and then, there was this, everybody was saying, yeah, well, you can go into the thing and you can turn it off, and I went into the thing and to turn mine off, it wasn't on. It didn't show that it was on. So that got me to start thinking, okay, well, if we got this thing on our phone, if everybody got this thing on, what it is, what the app was, in case you guys don't, in case there's anyone out here that don't know, the app is a COVID-19 tracking app. What that COVID-19 tracking app, I'm going to try to move this phone so I can kind of stay with the camera with you guys. All right, so what the COVID-19 tracking app does is it can track you and other humans, other people out here, and tells you, it's gonna let us know, or let you know, if you've been in contact within 6 feet of somebody that has tested positive for COVID. Now, if you have a phone, you have a tracking device, I have a tracking device. My tracking device is not on. I didn't turn it on. It was downloaded, but it wasn't turned on. And I'm by you, and somehow my phone is going to tell, if you had COVID and I walk by you, it goes into a database that we were within 6 feet of each other. And you're positive for COVID. So now that means I need to get tested for COVID, and everybody that I come in contact with within 6 feet needs to get tested for COVID. And, like I said, for some reason, because there's an on and off switch on the phone, we actually feel like we can turn this thing off. Mind you, we didn't ask for the app. We didn't even know when the app was downloaded, but we think we could turn it off. Okay. All right. Maybe we can turn it off. Mine is off. It was never on. Saying that also to say now, Broward County, I live in Broward County, Florida, right? Florida, the hot spot. That's a whole nother subject. Florida, the hot spot, right? So I live in Broward County, Florida, which is South Florida. And we were the mayor just said that they're hiring 500 more of the COVID-19 tracers. These are employees. This is part of, you guys, I don't know if you guys look up your these things, these bills that come out of the White House, especially since the COVID-19 has come out, but I really need to pay attention to these bills that come out of the White House. One of the most recent ones that came out that was signed and passed and in law now is the Trace Act. Now, what the Trace Act does is it allows the government to actually trace contact trace for COVID-19. That means to say, I go to Walmart today. I go to Walmart today and I have my cell phone with me and I walk past somebody that tested positive for COVID-19 and we touched within 6 feet of each other. My phone now picks up that I was in contact with this person and I need to go get tested. Right? How does the phone know if I get tested or not? How does the phone know if I get tested or not? Okay, so let's say for instance you go into the phone and you say, "Bam, I got tested," and then you go back into the phone and you say, "Bam, my results were there." Then we have to trust humans to be honest. Trust humans to be honest. Imagine that. Okay, so we know that's not how this thing is going to possibly work. We absolutely know that this thing is not going. That's not how this thing is going to work. There has to be some kind of way where once you get tested, you are in a database, and you can't think that medical officials and government is going to trust you to put yourself in a database. Seriously. I mean, do we really think... John's laughing. You know, hey, John, welcome to the convo. But, I mean, do we honestly think, though, that, you know, humans can be trusted to go get tested and say, you know what, I was positive, so let me put in the app that I'm positive, so anywhere I walk around with my phone, now somebody else is... If I come in with contact with somebody else that hasn't been exposed, now they can get an alert to go get tested. Shelly says this is getting out of control. I mean, Shells, if we, you know, it is out of control. It's not getting out of control. It's out of control. It's out of control. It's up to us to kind of put our thinking caps on and try to get this thing back into some kind of control. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones that have the power, right? But, I mean, I think, I really don't think there's anybody out here that really thinks that that's going to work. Now, imagine, this thing is supposed to be more contagious, more crazier than AIDS, right? Because I don't remember all of this going on when AIDS virus was hot, right? And rampant. So imagine if they did an app for AIDS and they said, well, when you get tested, you need to put on this phone or whatever. Who the hell was going to do that? There's so many people out there. There's so many people out there that went and purposely gave people the HIV virus or the AIDS virus or whatever the case might be. So there's no way in hell that we can possibly think that we're going to trust, people to just go ahead and be honest for the sake of humanity. And people, I mean, there are people out there that will do that, you know, but there's a lot of people out there that absolutely will not do that. John says we do. We do what, John? Can you clarify for me, please? Let me see what Shelly Speaks Truth says. Yes, but our social credit scores will decrease. What will happen to us if our social credit score is low? Interesting question. I mean, all kinds of things could happen. You could lose. They make the rules, so it's whatever. It's whatever whoever is making the rules of the social credit score says. Suppose they say, well, like I asked earlier, well, suppose they say, all right, you know what, guys? Social credit score is out right now, and everybody gets 1,000 points for your social credit score. If you maintain 900 and above points, you have access to everything in life. You have access to everything that you normally do. But if you drop below 900, anywhere between 800 and 900, you're gonna lose certain things. You can't go into 5-star restaurants. You can't book a 5-star hotel. You can't drive a luxury car. And let's say you drop below 800, and between 7 and 800, they say, well, below 7 and 800, then you're not going to be able to let's say you're not going to be able to fly out of your state. You have to stay in your state. You're not allowed to get on airplanes. um I mean, whatever the rules might be. Let's say you drop all the way below 500, below 500, and they say, yeah, you can't even have a driver's license. And then the other part about it is, what causes you to drop your score? What causes your score to drop? If the majority of people says we need to be vaccinated for COVID-19, and you don't get vaccinated for COVID-19, does that drop your credit score? Of course it will drop your credit score. How much is it going to drop your credit score? If society says you're supposed to wear a mask and you are caught outside without wearing a mask, can your credit score drop? I would imagine your credit score would go down for that. You know, and then again, you would have, I would hope you would have the opportunity to possibly build your credit score. Like maybe you can help old ladies across the street or something, and you might get a point for helping an old lady across the street. You help 100 old ladies across the street, you might get 100 points if you're lucky. The chat's going crazy. Let's see what's going on in the chat. John G says, we have the power. Really? Yes, absolutely, John. Because we're the people. We're the people. I mean, honestly, statistics say 10% of the population controls the other 90%. So, I mean, to say if 10% is controlling the 90%, I mean, all we that means really and truly all we have to do is collectively stand up. Really and truly. How can possibly 10%, you know what I mean? Like, and what does standing up mean, though? To get more into your question, standing up is going to mean a lot. Standing up is going to mean that we have to kind of turn away from everything that we're used to, turn away from everything that we've learned that is actually success, or is actually a good life. Or we honestly need to get back to nature. That's the real end of the story. I mean, because if we're living off nature, and if we respect nature how we're supposed to, there's no way man can come in between and put so much control. Because we were having this conversation the other day, and really and truly everything that we have on earth came from earth. It's not like things are coming out of thin air, right? Things are manipulated, and you take this mineral and you put it with this mineral, or you know what I mean, you take some metal and you form it to how you want to form it, and you get you extract gas from wherever the hell you extract gas from, and you get oil from wherever you get, and you put it all together, and you get this car that rolls down the road. This stuff is not coming out of thin air. It's all coming from earth, from Mother Nature. So at the end of the day, if we really respect Mother Nature enough to realize that, listen, man, you can't tell me that my life has to be, I have to live a certain way, because really and truly all I have to do is just not listen to you and pay attention to God's laws. That's really and truly what we have to do. But let me get back into the chat with that. John says, so if we certainly are good at delegating it to strong members of the species, yeah, absolutely, John, absolutely. Shelley says, I honestly think the lower your score is, you will be considered a threat to national security. Absolutely. There's definitely a point where it has to be. There's going to be a point. I mean, ask anybody if you're in China, that I'm sure they don't have, like your score is so low. I mean, I'm sure they got places for you. Pretty sure they got places for you. Hunger Games come to mind. That's what comes to my mind. I don't know what comes to yours, but Hunger Games comes to mind. John, I think you are giving this subject way more time and effort than it's worth right now. Well, um, way more time and effort than it's worth right now. I really don't think so because here's what honestly feel like it's already going on, John. That's my thing is I feel like it's already going on. Like I said, how do we really think that the feds are sitting around watching all of these hundreds of hours to make all these arrests out there? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They know where you are with your phone, and they know what happens if a building burns down at 8 p.m. on a Friday night. Well, all you need to go do now is go see what cell phones were in that area at 8 p.m. that night, and then now you can start to you could funnel out a lot more foolishness, right? But yeah, I absolutely absolutely think that is something that we definitely we need to be aware of. Definitely aware of. And I don't think it's really something that can be avoided. I don't think it's something. I don't think a president's gonna stop it. I just think it's something that's coming down the pike with the rest of society. Period. Just natural progression. So I really don't see that happening. Let me see. Getting way ahead of things. It might be, but I'm an Aries, so that's kind of what Aries do. Kind of try to get ahead of things. Not try something. Sometimes we just get ahead of things. Sometimes, and honestly, John, that has nothing to do with ego. It's just what my spirit's been telling me to talk about. So, I'm a spirit kind of guy, man. I follow the spirit. Wherever the spirit tells me to go, that's where I'm gonna go. And I usually don't. When I do that, I'm usually only wrong when I don't follow the spirit. That's usually when I end up wrong. Um, the people are running out of things. The people that are running things are also us. Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. But that's because of mindset. That's because we've been. I don't want to be too harsh, but we've been trained. We've been trained. Plain and simple. We've been trained. You know, all our lives we've been trained. Our parents, from television, from everywhere, from the CIA, from every freaking everywhere, entertain like everywhere. We've been trained. Um, not getting ahead of the curve. Not getting a hurt, get a hurt. This is what has got us in a situation we're in, John. John, will you address that delegation? Um, Let me go back to that. Well, I mean, honestly, John. So John's comment was, if so, we certainly are good at delegating it to the wrong members of society. That is true. But again, that goes back to our training. That goes back to our mentality. That we've been trained to realize to think monetary success is real success. We've been trained to think that, and it's absolutely not true, and that's has a lot to do with why we've been putting that delegation in the wrong hands, um, is because we've been trained to look at people that are on a certain level and think that that's what we should strive for, and you know that's part of the problem. That's a huge part of the problem. Why we keep this going, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to let that go. The more we let that go and go back to earth, to natural progression, like natural earth, natural things, not just being of nature, respecting nature, then the less control that man can possibly have. Like, it just can't happen. Not getting out of hand. Let's get back down. Who makes the phone? Who makes you have the phone? Ah, see, that's why I like for John to come on, because John will get to you like, who makes me have the phone? Well, I make me have the phone. You know, I make me have the phone. And I know I know what it's doing. I mean, not I don't know fully what it's doing, but I realize, like, everything I do, especially through this phone, is recorded. Like, everything is linked to an email address, which is linked to an IP address, which is linked to, at the end of the day, me. Like, they have the security now. So, in the name of security, in the name of security, because everybody needs security, especially digital security. But in the name of security, we don't have any privacy. How ironic is that, John? You know what I mean? In the name of, in the name of security, we don't have any privacy, because everything I do is recorded. There's nothing I can possibly go and log into anywhere online or do anything anywhere and it doesn't come back to the person, Andre Johnson. Even if, I mean, I'm, I have multiple email addresses that I use, but guess what? They all come back to. They all come back to me at the end of the day. They all come back to me. They come back to me. They come back either to me, my phone, my iPad, or my computer. But really and truly, they all come back to the phone, because the phone is so convenient, and because of convenience, also we've given up so much more, because I can do so much. I can basically, if the computer shut down and the iPad is shut down, I can basically still run business on the phone. The convenience of it. But to move on. Of course, they're trying to control you. That's how the entire battle. Absolutely, absolutely. The future we are headed towards hold far more dangers than the social credit. Well, yeah, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, John, if somebody, okay, let's say right now I'm creating, me and a few other noble-hearted people are creating like some platforms to try to maintain free speech, right? And honestly, a social credit score, if a social credit score is in place and free speech starts to get looked at as, which is already, it already is. People are already saying, oh, you can't say this and you can't say that. So free speech is already going down the drain. So if free speech becomes a part of that social credit score, then a person like me could end up going to jail, because I'm not going to stop spreading truth. Like, I'm not, like, we're gonna have to go to war. Like, you're gonna have to come get me. You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely. It's not. You might not have to worry about it, John, because you might not be doing. You might not be planning on doing anything that might go against that. You know what I mean? So certain people wouldn't have to worry about certain things, but somebody like me, absolutely, that goes against the grain. Yeah, heck yeah, absolutely. Um, Of course, we have been trained. Not training that makes us re-elect bad people. It's ego. Yeah, that is true because our ego, ego is tied to that. Our ego is tied to that because, um, I've done a whole another show on how our egos have become one of the biggest part of our enslavements as humans. And I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about people in general. Just like people, if you strive for better, and like, that's all ego. I don't want to get too far off of that, off on that point, but your ego can definitely be used to enslave you. So yeah, absolutely. Ego is a huge thing, and I'm an Aries, so I'm an egotistical type of guy. So I had to learn, and still learning, how to tame my ego, because I don't need that thing enslaving me. That, you know what I mean. There's already too many forces. I don't need my own damn ego enslaving me. I just don't need it. Um, we won't admit that we make mistakes by voting for bad people. Yeah, I'll admit it. I mean, I'll admit it. I know I voted for freaking Hillary, the Hillary. I I voted for the Hillary last time. I did. Sorry, but you know what? Not too sorry, because she didn't win. Thank God she didn't win. If she did win, yeah, I would have been pretty damn sorry right now. I would have been pretty damn sorry, all right? And the worst part about that is I went against my heart. I went against my gut. I went against my heart, and I made the wrong vote. Well, I won't do that anyway. We won't admit. The theory that every politician is corrupt except the ones we vote for. Oh boy. You know what? You know what? You know what? There gotta be some truth to that. John says, every politician. The theory that every politician is corrupt except for the ones we vote for. And John, maybe they're not corrupt when we vote for them. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I tend to believe a lot of these people go into these swamps and don't realize exactly what they're going into, until they get there, and it becomes survival of the fittest type of thing, unfortunately. Shelley speaks truth. I don't think people understand how serious the situation is. Having a thought that goes against the status quo is already socially unaccepted. Yeah, absolutely, it is unaccepted. And even to think that free speech is not, is still free. No, free speech is absolutely out the window. It's gone. What do you? If I say certain words on this live, the live is gonna get kicked. I got one in my mind that I want to say right now. Just because it's so much of a controversial word that we used to use as a child, I can't use it. I can't use it. The video is going to get shut off. It's going to get deleted, and my efforts is going to be for no reason. And it's kind of like YouTube has their platform. They own this, so they have they have rights. They have the rights, so it's not. They can't really be sanctioned because it's their business. It's their company. They put money up. I don't own stock in the company. I can't tell them that they need to allow whatever I want to say, which is why we're building urbancountryfilms.com. So keep an eye on urbancountryfilms.com. All right? Let me see what else we got here. John says, are you implying that I go with the grain? No, absolutely not. I'm not implying that you go with the grain. I'm just saying that you absolutely do not go with the grain. I actually, you're one of the people that I really highly regard the way you think. You're very very educated, very educated, and not in the sense of what a book tells you. In the sense of, you pay attention, you see, you pay attention to life, and you pay attention to a lot of different subjects, which is a great thing. And you also, I think you sometimes take take yourself out of your own shoes and put yourself in the other person's shoes to try to kind of understand, what it is they think. So all in all, yeah, I absolutely don't think you go along with the grain. I just don't, I you know I don't see you out there really doing anything. I don't know you like that, but I haven't seen anything from you that says, hey, John is gonna be one of the guys that's gonna be out here like, hey, look, the hell with what the government's talking about, dude. We need to go the other way. You more strike me as the type of guy that will kind of move silently, and if people want to move with you, you'll welcome them. But I don't see you trying to lead people, um, which is not a bad thing, by the way. So let me just move on. Shelly speaks truth. Shelly says, I'm speaking about people that do. I'm not sure what you do. Oh, Shelly. Oh, maybe Shelly and John has been talking to each other. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, sorry for getting in you guys' conversation here in the middle of the chat. They're certainly corrupting me for them the second time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when we vote for them the second time, they certainly corrupt by then. I mean, if we're talking about Donald Trump, his ass was corrupt before he got there. All right, let's not kid anybody. He was a businessman, so his ass was corrupt before he got there. Um, he might honestly, he might be a little bit better of a person since he's been there. I don't know. I think personally, if I'm looking at the guy that went in there to the guy that I look at right now, I honestly think he might even be a little bit better of a person than he is than he went in there. Um, Corruption, I don't, corruption. Everybody's got their own. What do they say? What's the word I'm looking for? Their own motive. Everybody's got their own motive. Like, if he's actually gonna fight it out and try to get a second term, he has his reasons for it. You know, he fought it out for the first term, and he had his reasons for that too. Like, and another thing, if anybody thinks that he's out here trying to save America, all right, you know what I mean? All right. Everybody has their own motives. He might be trying to save America because if America falls, he falls with it. So maybe he is trying to save America. I'll give him that because maybe I'll give him that. He might be trying to serve America. All right, so Google owns this. Google owns everything. Google owns Google shit, not everything, but yeah, they own this YouTube, they own Facebook, they're all the same, things. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and urbancountryfilms.com. They don't own that. Urbancountryfilms.com. It's gonna be a huge platform. I don't want to beat it all over the head, but that's the new platform. But back to the social credit score, guys. I would say pay attention. Pay attention to what the things that you put online. Like, okay, so really, what I wanted to get back to was when you say that they do not own Facebook. Isn't it the same parent company that owns Facebook and and YouTube? I'm pretty sure the same company owns Facebook and YouTube, John. Pretty sure. I know they're different entities. Yes, absolutely, but I'm pretty sure they're owned by the same parent company. Maybe Google owns all three. Maybe the company that owns Google owns all three. That might be whatever it is. But I could be wrong. Don't you know what I mean? If I'm wrong, it wouldn't be the first time. So, but social credit score. Have you ever heard about somebody getting denied for a job because of something they posted online? So, if we think the social credit score is not going on, it's going on. If you can get turned down from a job, yeah, when you go look for a job now, one of the things that your employer is going to do, sorry, I keep on. One of the things that your employer is gonna do, or your soon to be employer is gonna do, is that they're gonna they're gonna search you. They're gonna do a Google search on you, and they're gonna see what pops up. Your Facebook is gonna pop up. If you have a Twitter, it'll probably pop up. If all of your social media is gonna pop up, and they're gonna scroll. They're gonna scroll through, and they're gonna scroll through, and they're gonna scroll through, and they're gonna take a judgment of you based on the things that you post, the things that you share, the things that you comment on. So, if we think the social credit score is not in place in America already, we're kidding ourselves. We're kidding ourselves. It's in place already. It's in place already. Okay, for instance, you post you post everything about Black Lives Matter, and you post everything about you support taking down statues, and you support this and that and the other thing. And Goya didn't come out with their statement. I don't even know what the hell Goya said, but Goya didn't come out with their statement yet. I haven't even looked at that one. I'm just not concerned. I'm not gonna stop eating beans. You got me fucked. But you just got me. I'm not gonna eat. I'm not stopping eating beans. I'm sorry. I'm just not. So Goya, whatever you said, whatever. I don't care what you said. Whatever you said, you said. People are allowed to talk. But imagine Goya didn't put out their statement, and everybody doesn't know that Goya is riding for Donald Trump, and you see this position for a big exec at Goya, and you're well qualified. Well qualified. So you hop in there and you just know you're going to get this position, right? You just know that you're going to get this position from Goya. You go in there, you have a splendid interview, and everything went great, and you're down the road, and you're home, and you and the interviewer kicked it off, and normally things like this you have one or two, maybe even three interviews, and the first interview went great. The first interviewer is telling you that you're a shoo-in for the position, and they're gonna talk so highly about you for the next interview, and you're ready to go, and you go home to your wife, and you're like, yo, honey, I got this job. I feel great about it, and you go out and you celebrate a dinner, and the next morning and you do your follow-up call, or 2 days later, or whatever the case might be, and you get turned down for the job. All of a sudden, somebody was more qualified. Could it have anything to do with what you posted about taking down statues, about Black Lives Matter, about fuck Trump? I mean, could it be? How would you know? So if you think a social credit score is not in place in America, I want you to think again. Shelley speaks truth, absolutely truth. It is definitely in place. Yeah, it's in place. It's in place. It's not in place like it is in communist China, where everybody accepts it. But in China, everybody also accepts to wear a mask when they're sick. Now they're doing it with or without their sickness, but without the government telling them to do it, you get sick in China, you're wearing a mask. You ever been in a subway in New York or any one of these big cities and see these Chinese people? They got masks up. They don't want your cooties. They don't know what the hell you got, who you been with, who you been around. They don't want your cooties. But that's what they're used to. I had a conversation with my buddy the other day, and we were talking about the mask thing, and he's like, "Yo, dude, back at home, hell, we wear masks just pollution. Like we wear masks just because you're sick, or it's not a big deal." Over here, it's a big deal for us because we never had to do that. We've been trained not to do that, not to have to do that. We haven't been trained to do that yet. So now we're being trained to wear a mask. Put the muzzle on, guys. Put the freaking muzzle on. I'm not gonna stay long with y'all tonight. I've been rambling on for about an hour, but you know, like I said, free speech is not free, but it will still be free. Urban Country Films. What we're building is huge. What we're building is huge, and we need all kinds of help. We're not asking anyone for any kind of money. We don't. I don't want. We're not asking for no donations. We're not asking for anything. Right now, we need a lot of support. We need team members more than anything else. We need people, all kinds of people. If there's any way that you think that you can help, reach out to me. Listen, I want to start listing off type of people that we need. I want to start listing off people that we need, but I don't even know where to start and where I would end. We need program directors, we need actors, we need engineers, we need social media people, we need advertising people, we need a lot of things. we need a lot of things, and a lot of people. Thank God we have the people that we have in place right now. Oh, everyone is wearing 3 and 4 hats, and we're making it happen. Nothing is live yet. Right now, if you go to urbancountryfilms.com, you can go there and you can live and you can sign up the email. But that site that you're looking at is not the real site. That's the site that I built. urbancountryfilms.com. That's the site that I built, and that's under construction right now. The developer has it in his possession, and it's getting a complete overall. We're going to be offering hosting. We're going to be offering. There's going to be a lot to offer. I don't even want to start talking about too much of what we're going to be offering, but urbancountryfilms.com. You can get in touch with me at andrejohnson77@gmail.com. That's andrejohnson77@gmail.com. If you want to be a part of what we're building. We're building a whole network. It's huge. There's nothing like it that I can actually explain to you and say, well, it's this, because it's a whole new company model that is not out there yet. So it's hard to kind of put into words, and I'm definitely not going to give all of everything until we get launched. But urbancountryfilms.com, go there. You can go there now. You can sign up for your subscription. Subscriptions are free. The first 1,000 subscriptions will be free. So go ahead and sign up now. urbancountryfilms.com. Again, urbancountryfilms.com. And love you guys. If you haven't hit the like button, do me a favor, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you're a subscriber to this YouTube channel, I'm your number one fan. Like I say, I'm your number one fan. Hit the button for me. Let me be your number one fan. Love you guys. Enjoy your week.